Today is our day 3 of our October Christmas craft along. And again, I'm bringing you 2 projects that are just fabulous, featuring our pine tree trimmings, ta-da, and our Stay Warm, ta-da, stamp sets from Stampin' Up. I've partnered with Sherry Zecki and Deb Smeek to bring you some really fantastic projects. So we have a total of 13 projects in our craft along. You still have an opportunity to get the craft along. You can get the whole kit, or you can get just a tutorial. And there's a couple ways to get that for free, just saying. And let's see what else. Oh, free shipping. I got to tell you about that. You don't want to miss out. So, October 22nd through the 24th is free shipping with Stamping Up. Bonus. So, if you spend $50 in my online store, you are going to be getting this tutorial for free. It's 38 pages filled with lots of pictures. It has diagrams, it has everything. It has step-by-step instructions and pictures and everything that we use in detail in here. It is amazing. So you'll get that for free. Also, I am upping my game a little bit here, and because I did my free with purchase class last week, which was our festive friends, I'm going to throw that tutorial in too. So you'll get 2. And then for... I lied. No, it was the 2 tutorials. Sorry, I can't talk. And if you spend $75 in my online store, you're going to get free shipping from Stampin' Up. So you don't pay any of that. So you're saving yourself quite a bit there. You're saving yourself at least 11%. And you'll still get those 2 tutorials. If you spend over $100 in my online store, then you're going to get the 2 tutorials, free shipping from Stamping Up. And you'll have a choice of either 10 handmade cards or 20 pieces of 6x6 designer series paper. It's some of my retired paper that I have in here, but I'll include some Christmas kind of paper in there. So yeah, you'll want to do that. And if your order is going to be over $125, I gotta tell you, stop before you click submit. What you really may want to think about is purchasing the starter kit for $35. Yes, $35. And Stampin' Up will still do free shipping. When you purchase a starter kit, it's always free shipping. But it's $35, and you get to pick out that $125 from your wish list and get it for free. All right. You pay the tax on it. That's how things roll. But then you get all the perks of being a demonstrator. And pretty much you have a free discount until March. There's no commitment. And if you decide, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, or I don't want the discount anymore, you can drop. And you don't have to send anything back. It's all yours. You paid for it. You paid $35. So I'd love to have you on my team. My team is really fun. And I'm also part of Rhonda Wade's Rubber Queen team. And both of us offer support and training and lots of free things. I share my tutorials with my teammates. So they are actually getting these tutorials for free for being part of my team. That's just one of the training perks that I offer. So yeah, we're going to get started on our projects. And if you notice, I've got my little holiday earrings on. Each day I've tried to do some sort of little holiday thing. Yesterday, I had a really cool holiday shirt. It was a little Christmas pickup, but I realized I was cold and I was wearing my sweatshirt, so you never saw it. So today I decided to wear my Christmas green. So this is the state of Wisconsin where I live. And then there's little evergreens because it kind of goes with our pine tree trimmings, right? And my little Santa earrings here. His feet move. All right. So each day I'm going to try and add just a little bit of something more. So make sure you join me to see what next fun accessory I'm going to add. By Saturday, I should really look very interesting. All right. So today's cards were designed by Sherry. Her business is Love by Him Designs, and Deb's business is Delight of My Art. So they're also doing these same cards that I'm doing today on their YouTube channels. So you can go and check out how all 3 of us do something just a little bit different. but we have a lot of fun together, and we had a great time creating this for you. I hope you're going to enjoy these cards. I'm going to show you the card designed by Sherry, and then I have, well, I always go rogue, even on myself. So I have some rogue little extras to show you and just have some fun with your card. So, when we give you a tutorial, when we give you the things, have fun with it, play with it, get creative. If you think that, oh, I should do this, do it. That's what it's all about. It's about having fun. We're inspiring you to get your creative mojo going. Let it run. Have fun with it. And we'd love to see your designs. So make sure you go over on the Facebook group, go to one of the posts on, the Christmas craft along, and post your picture of your cards. We would love, love, love to see them. All right, so I'm going to flip my camera down. So if you get dizzy, please close your eyes. I won't start without telling you. Believe me, I won't. So close your eyes. I'll flip the camera down, and I'll tell you when to open them. Okay, so now you can see my messy, messy desktop. I've been having a lot of fun the last 2 days with these cards that Sherry created. I can't. I'm just giggling to myself because, yeah, I accidentally, I'll show you what I did, but I accidentally smudged one because I didn't let it dry long enough. I got really anxious to use it, and I was all excited about it, and yeah, I smudged. So anyways, I'm going to put these off to the side here. And I'm going to grab all the things that I need. So I don't need those. I don't need that. I don't need a pen. We are going to start with our first card. I'm going to show you what that looks like. And you know what? I really love this card that Sherry made. I think it's so fun, just like it is. So we're going to make it just like that. And so what you'll need is, you will need a piece of your real red cardstock from your paper kit. So grab your piece out like that. I've got some of mine already cut, so I was a little bit more prepared for this. I need to just move those off. And then you will need 2 pieces of your designer paper. So this is we have 2 of the same pieces. You have lots in your package, so don't worry, you're not going to run out. So we're going to be using those 2 pieces. I also have a piece of garden green. So I took the 8.5 by 11 and cut it in half. So it is 5.5 by 8.5. I'm simply just going to fold this in half. Make sure it's straight. Ooh, I'll show you another trick on the next card. Another fun little tip for you. Okay, I'm just going to take my bone folder and score it down. I have a piece of real red, so from my large sheet of paper, I cut this to be 4.25 by 5.5, so it fits completely on the front of your garden green card base. I then have 2 pieces, I don't know, here it is, 2 pieces of my basic white. One is going to be for the front, and one is going to be for the inside of my card. I have, from your handy dandy little package of labels, we're going to pull out this label right here. And we get to use our little sparkle stars, our little gold shaker stars today. So you're going to want to have those out. I'll show you some tricks on how to use those. And you're going to definitely need your baker's twine. All right. So in addition to this, pull in your liquid glue. Now, I have a little dispenser that I like to use. So I'm going to pull that in. I just take my, what we call green glue. So what is green glue? It's just a liquid glue. It's in a green bottle, so we call it green glue. I just fill my little dispenser up with it. And you can tell I got my hands all gluey. I have to get this all cleaned up, so excuse the mess on it. But it has this dispense tip. This is one thing that I do offer in my adhesive packages. So when you see those, this is your precision tip that you get with the adhesive package. Okay, let's start with our die cutting. All right. Now I've done this piece for you. You don't have to worry about that. That came from our traditional labels. We've decided to kind of use this sentiment set and carry it through a lot of the different, sorry, I'm just gonna put that right there right now. A lot of the different cards and projects that we've made. And these are the dies that we're using. So we really just, I love these dies. These are perfect for holiday cards. I mean, Stampin' Up! Always keeps coming up with the perfect ones for the holidays, right? So again, you can see I got a little smudge there. I got some smudges on my hands, so you'll have to excuse that. Yeah, so that's something else that you can add. So this does come as a bundle, stamp set, photopolymer stamp set, and the dies. And when you purchase it as a bundle, you do get a little bit of a discount on it. All right, I need that. I do not need my hole punch or my circle punch today, so I'm just going to put that out of the way. I forgot to put it away last night. Why do I slide it back in the package? Because I haven't had a chance to put my contact paper on here, and I don't want that scratched up. So that's another little tip. I think I've shared that on my Facebook channel, but I'll create a little video on it. It's just a way to kind of get that from all scratched up and keeping it brand new looking, new and shiny. All right, I'm going to move my dimensionals over there. And when I ask you, where's my dimensionals? They're over there. Okay. I am just going to get my feed going here. I'm going to make sure that I'm actually live. Because I'm doing all this fun and sharing these fun things. And if I'm not live, oh, what a bummer. Okay. I need to go and find it. YouTube. Where am I? Your videos. I'm not seeing my live. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm hoping I'm live. Okay, there I am. All right. So in order to chat along with me during the live, you'll need to sign in to YouTube. And the way that you do that, you just need to have a Google account and then just create your YouTube account. And there you go. It's easiest just to do it with Google. That way, when you're on your phone or whatever, and you're logged into Google, you get logged in. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and share it with friends, please. Because that way, the more that I get out there, the more that I can bring you more fun projects. It really does help me with my business just to be out there. And, you know, I would love for you to promote me if you like my videos. Yeah, let's see. I want to move these things kind of aside. I'm kind of scattered. So today I do chit chat a lot when I'm doing my things. So sorry if you don't like that, but that's the way it is. I do like to talk. Now in person, I'm actually pretty shy. So I'm just looking around because I put my die cut machine away and I need to have that out. So let me just grab that. Oh, I'm bringing the big guns out today because I have a 6x6 piece of paper that I need to cut. I actually could, you know what? We're going to cut it down. I want to be able to share the video with you versus seeing a big thing on my desk. So we're going to use our little mini but mighty emboss machine, cut and emboss machine. And I need my die from my pine tree trimmings. All right. And I'm going to take my paper here. So we're going to start with trimming this down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be die cutting trees out of this, this, and this. All right. So what I really need to do is I just need to cut these apart. So let's grab some scissors here or your trimmers. And I'm just going to cut through here. So your piece of paper that you're cutting, maybe you have other designer series paper that you like, just needs to be at least 2 inches wide and 3 inches tall to fit that die. All right, and I'll just cut it this way. All right. And now I'll put this aside for a different project. Okay, so we've got our 3 pieces here. Now, little trick. You can cut 2 of these at the same time. I'm going to cut this one first because I know that my tree is going to go down a little further. If you notice, there's a little star up there. So I do want to make sure I'm getting that star in my tree and see how it comes down just a little bit. I'm going to run that through the die cut machine real quick for you. And I have like 0 light on this side of the table. I have to rethink my lighting here. You know, as the seasons change and the light changes in my room, I sometimes have to rearrange my lighting. All right, so there's one of my trees. And now I can take these two. I'm just going to snip off this end here. I'm just going to layer those two together, just like that. You can cut 2 pieces of designer series paper at the same time. So now I just got my paper lined up. We're going to put my tree on there. And if you have directional paper, just make sure which way you're going with your tree. All right. Now, I'm actually going to just do it a little different. When I trim that down, I didn't trim it well. So, my little tree here. Oh, maybe it'll fit. It'll just fit. So I'm just going to do it individually, though, just to make sure I have it there. You know, mistakes happen. It's alive. It's real life. I am so not perfect. I'm so far from it that you know what happens. Uh-oh, like that. My die just fell on the floor. Okay. This video is going to be filled with all sorts of handy dandy little tips and tricks. Can't wait. Because I have a feeling I'm going to be making mistakes today. And you know, these cards are just amazing and it goes together so quick. So if it looks challenging or difficult, it's because of yours truly. It's not because of the design of the card. It's user error today. All right. So one of the things I wanted to share with you is I went to Farm and Fleet and I found this telescoping magnet. So it will, when I drop my magnet, my dies on the floor and I can't see them, I can just swing this around on the floor. And yes, swing is a word. I can swing it around the floor and I can pick up my dies. And believe me, when I drop a little itty bitty guy like this, I can find it. It is totally worth it. And it was definitely under 10 bucks. I think it was probably under $5 to tell you the truth. But yeah, just one little tip, get a magnet. Have it with you. And then the other little thing I do with magnets is I buy magnetic vent sheets. And I have one usually sitting on my desk. And I always put my dies on it so I don't lose my die. And I just lost my die. Oh, I put it back in here. Right? Yes, I did. So I'll throw my dies on a piece of magnetic sheet while I'm working so that I know where it is. And if I need it again, I can use it. But then when I go to put it away, I know that they're all on my little sheet right over here. Okay, back to our card. So now I've got 3 little trees. I'm going to take part of, is this 2 inches wide? No. Oh, it is. So this piece here is still 2 inches wide. I don't even need to have 2 pieces. I can just use this one piece. So I cut the 3 trees out. Talk about saving paper. Holy cats. Another little tidbit for you. All right. Okay, I didn't cut that real straight, but it's going to be 2 inches. Mine's going to be just a smidge off. Again, it's all user error today, but that's okay. No one's going to measure it. No one's going to say, Beth, you were not 2 inches perfectly. No one's going to know. Just saying. And if they do point those things out to you, you know what? Tell them to make you the card next time. Just saying. Because it is really all about you. Okay. Hold please. Everything just froze on me. What happened? Escape. Okay. I hope I'm still live because I did something. I hit my computer and things just kind of went awry over there. All right. Now I should probably follow an instruction, okay? So that you all have the same things. All right. So I've cut the pieces that I need. I've die cut my trees out. Kind of did not go in order, but that's all right. Okay. So I've got my garden green folded in half. I've got my real red and basic white. I'm going to go ahead and add, before I do anything else, I'm going to add my strip of designer series paper right to this. Now this should be cut to be 2 inches by 4 inches. No, 2 inches by 5 inches. Okay, all the dimensions and all the, cutting directions are all in your tutorial. Okay, and I just need to go up here, trim this at 5. I'm just with my trimmer over here, 5 inches. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put that right onto our, well, I'm going to keep using my Seal Plus because I don't know what I do with my seal. Right onto my basic white cardstock. It's going to have a little bit of a border around it. So just line it up, kind of get it centered there. Again, it does not have to be perfect. Handmade is not always perfect, but it makes it truly, truly special. All right, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to adhere this right to my red cardstock. Okay. All right. Now, I do have to just stop for a moment. I'm going to be adhering this on top of here. I just need to get some dimensionals, and I seem to only have my small dimensionals here. So I've got a stack of them. And I don't know why I keep grabbing a new one. I've got to finish using all these before I grab any more new ones. All right. So I just had to grab regular size dimensionals, which I have right here and here. All right. And I always misplace them. It never fails. Okay. What was I doing? Oh, I know what I was doing. Sorry. Trying to do too many things at one time, but I wanted to make sure that I'm actually on Facebook. People know that I'm over here because normally I go live on Facebook, and I want to make sure they know that I'm here right now. Okay. All right. So, yep, I let everyone know. Okay, so let's go back here so I can see that. Let's go ahead and put some dimensionals on. So yeah, today was kind of a hectic day. I don't know about all of you, but I had to take my dog to the vet. He has to get monthly injections for the arthritis in his legs. He was born with some congenital defects that he started getting arthritis when he was a puppy. So I have to take him in for monthly injections, which does help him so he can move around. And I call him my little puppy dog. He's not little. He's 70 pounds. He thinks he's a lap dog. And I'm just trying to lay this on here evenly. So it just takes me a moment to concentrate there. Okay, got it. So, yeah, so he's a 70-pound lap dog. And he's about 10 years old. So by no means is he a puppy. However, you know what? I think I did something wrong already. I should have tied my, baker's twine. I was so busy trying to chit chat that I forgot a step here. So let me gently peel this off. Okay, here's another tip for you. If you have stuck your layers together and you can't get them pulled apart, grab some dental floss and just go between your adhesive and the layer that you want to separate, and it'll come off. It'll separate that out for you. In this case, no one's going to see that back, so I'm just going to gently pull it off. All right. Because I need to add my baker's twine. And it has to go on before you do that. So I'm going to wrap this around twice. So I'm just leaving myself a little bit of a tail here. Oh, that's probably way more than I need. I tend to do that. All right. And we're going to get our snips out here. Snip that off. And for me, it's always easier to tie a knot when I'm working with baker's twine. I have a challenge with it being so thin that sometimes it just doesn't want to play nice with me. So normally I would tie a knot right here. If you don't want to tie a knot, you can, hold it with your fingers, or I like to grab my reverse tweezers here. So I'm going to pull it tight. I'm going to slide my tweezers in right over there. There we go. And now I can start tying my bow. And yes, you can make sounds. You can sing some Christmas carols. I guarantee that you do not want me to sing My grandchildren love my singing, but I'm pretty sure that no one else would appreciate it. I can sing you the ABCs if you'd like. All right. So I'm just kind of making that a little fun here. So I'm going to slide that pretty far up. And now I need to re-add some dimensionals because I pulled mine off. So let's grab some more dimensionals here. Okay. See, again, no one's going to see that backing. All right. And now just need to make sure. Now, because it's the same exact size as the card base, you just got to get to layer this right. I'm challenged with that. So for me, I usually make my layers just a smidge different. Okay. So now that we have that done, we can actually pull our trees in and we can set them on our card front. I don't want to adhere them quite yet because one of the things I like to make sure of is that I have enough room for my sentiment, and yet I'm staggering my trees the way I want, just like that. All right, so let's get our sentiment stamped here. So we do need our real red, and we're going to grab the sentiment from our pine tree trimmings, and we're grabbing Ascending Christmas Wishes, and I believe I have that out already. Okay, we'll put this one over here. Oh my. You know, every time I bump my mouse, it does something to the YouTube channel, so I need to just undo this. There we go. Okay. Right, and I'm just going to center that right in there. Sending Christmas Wishes. Again, I really do need to re-ink these tonight. All right, we'll get some dimensionals on this. Now I have these strips here. So actually, I'm going to use the strips for my sweater. So that works really good for those sweater sleeves. All right, so, and I'm going to stagger these so that my tag doesn't wobble and get all wonky. All right, so we're going to put that right up here, just like so. And now I'm ready to put dimensionals on my trees. So I'll do 1, 2, 3. How many of you count when you're laying things on there? Or is it just me? Am I just that OCD? I don't know. It could be. All right. And I'm going to take a pick tool here, and I'm going to just, because sometimes it's easier to use this than to sit there and try to peel those little buggers off. Another helpful tip. I told you this would be a fun-filled video with lots of tips. Ooh, and careful you don't let your things go together. There we go. In my haste, I almost lost Christmas trees. All right, so let's bring this over again. We're going to start with this far one. And by having that sentiment on there and my bow tied, I know how far up I can go. And I want this one next. So I do want to stagger them at just a little bit of height, different heights, just like that. Okay. And now we're going to pull in our handy dandy fine tip dispenser here. I need to get that glue goober off the top there so it comes out. Here's another little tip for you. So when you finish your dimensional sheet, don't save everyone, but save one. Because if you're working with your liquid glue and it gets clogged, you can put some on there and not have to worry about it going all over your project, right? So I'm going to put 3 dots here. 1, 2, 3. And then I'll put 2 over here. You can put as many as you'd like. Now, it's okay that it's going to dry a little bit. It'll make it easier on me to put my things on there. I'm going to grab my take a pick tool. I'm going to put my little putty wad at the end here. All right, I'm just going to get that old wad off. And I'm going to twist it so I get some new coming through so you can see it starting to come up. All right, while that's working its way up, I need to grab my lid here, and I'm going to just gently tap some stars on there. I didn't mean to do that many. But I can now pick through the stars that I want and figure out what ones I want where. So I want this little tiny one right here to go right there. All right. And we'll grab another larger one for right there. And another one for right here. All right. Okay, let's grab another one for right here. And I'm going to see if I can get a larger one. Oh, here's a larger one. We'll grab that one and put it right there. All right, so that is our first card. How darling is that? But let's get our inside stamped here. So what we need to do with that is we're going to take one of our other piece here of basic white. Now I got some schmutz over there, and I'll just have to kind of keep an eye when I'm stamping on the inside. Now there are 3 different trees that you can choose from. I do really like this one, but since I have that schmutz there, I'm going to use this one. So we'll grab this, and we're going to grab our garden green ink. And I don't think I went in the order of the tutorial. Sorry. Again, my brain just starts going a lot of times here, and I just start running with it. All right, there we go. Let's get that clean, because I'll end up putting my sleeve in it. And I've already had to roll up my sleeves because I was getting a little toasty in my room. My husband decided to turn the heat on. And I'm like, it's not that cold yet. But no, he turned the heat on. So like as I'm doing something, it'll all of a sudden kick in. Like he has it set to kick in, I think around 4 o'clock. So that's probably why I'm getting really warm right now, because it just kicked in. All right, let's close that up. And let's get this adhered to the inside of our card. And we will be done with our first card. Woohoo, this went pretty quick. I can't wait to show you the different things I have for the next card. All right. So while you're crafting along with me, I'm going to talk about some of the other things that I've done with this card. So this is the card right here. So Sherry had stamped the hat in Memento Black and then colored it in using Real Red and Shaded Spruce blends, and she used Wink of Stella for the little pom-pom on the hat. She stamped her Real Red ink on a piece of basic white and trimmed out the sweater. I did not read the directions well. When I went to go and do this part, there's supposed to be these little tassel that's there. Yeah, I didn't read that right, and so it ended up a bow, but we're going to do the tassel on this card. All right, and then she just stamped on, when you're cutting your basic white, you're going to end up with all sorts of strips of 1/2-inch strips of white. Save those because that's where she stamped this on. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just pull in some of my other scraps here. All right, so I have that scrap. I'm going to move this off to the side because I'm going to need that again. We're going to start with, and oh my goodness, I have too much here on my desk. I am looking for the cardstock that I all prepped for this. Oh, it's right next to me on the other side of me. All right. I don't need my little die cut plates anymore, so we'll just move those. All right, to start, we're going to need a piece of crumb cake. So grab your full sheet of crumb cake. You're going to cut it in half. So it'll be 8.5 by 5.5. Then we're going to fold this in half. So I said before, I have a little trick for this. So as you know, I like to use my scoreboard. So I could score it at 4.25 inch, or I can just take my cardstock, slide it right to the edge and right to the corner, and then fold it just like that. I have my edges meet nice and even, and then I can bring back in my bone folder and just burnish it down. There we go. All right. Now, our piece of real red will measure, and I thought I had this cut already. We'll measure 4.25. 4 by, wait, let me talk. I can't talk at the moment. 5.25 by 4. Sorry, all of my cardstock fell that I conveniently had right next to me on a little shelf. All right. All right, I'm just going to cut this piece. You can watch me cut it. That's fine. All right. So on this, and this really is how I cut my white layers too. So I just go to 5.25, and then I take this one and go to 4, and this one I trim down to 4 as well. Now I've got 2 layers. All right. Normally I would do all 4 layers right away, and this is where I get all those 1/2 inch strips. Alrighty. So on this card, this was the, isn't this like a fun pattern? I really want to use this for a card. So anyways, this is the pattern that she chose for this side. So I am actually we're going to use the same pattern, and I'm just going to change it up just a little bit here. Ooh. It's fun to watch Sherry, Deb, and I take a project and see what different things we can come up with the same base project. So here we go. I'm going to be putting dimensionals on the back of that, and that will go on my crumb cake card base. I'm not going to do that at the moment, all right, because there's a couple other things that I want to do. So I'm going to take a strip, 1/2 inch strip of that white that I had cut, my other stuff out of. So I had that 1/2 inch strip here. I am going to go ahead and bring my sentiment in, and this time we're using shaded spruce and real red and Versamark. Like I said, I'm changing it up a little bit. So we'll get our sentiment stamped here. All right. So I'm definitely not going in the order of the tutorial, but you get the gist. All right, now I have this strip right here, and I thought, how fun would this be to add it to kind of tie in our crumb cake? So I'm going to trim this one down. So let's just trim our sentiment down, and this is 5.25 right there. So I want to make sure I'm not too far. So we're going to go to, well, no, we're going to go, I think 3.5 is fine. All right. If I need to snip off a little bit of the other end, I can. And then on this one, I'm going to take this at, I'm going to try 3/4 inch here. All right. And I am just going to put a little piece like that right on there. All right. So I'm going to cut this piece right here. This one's also going to be 3.5. All right. So instead of, layering it just right on top of each other, ooh, my ink was a little wet and I started smearing it. I'm just going to shift it a little bit. All right. And we're going to put it right on there just like that. So I'm going to put adhesive kind of in the middle there. We'll flip this over. And I'm just going to make sure that I meet the top there. Just so it's straight. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to actually trim this side down just a tad. Doop. All right. I need a little bit of adhesive right on the end. It's sticking up a little bit. There we go. All right. Oh, I got a little extra adhesive there. So let me just pull that off. So I'm just rolling that little strip of adhesive off. Okay. So now I have that. Now, oh, I didn't get that very straight, did I? Okay. Wow. Well, we're gonna make it straight. All right. We're gonna take my little scissors here and oops, I forgot to put my on. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, so I've got this right here. Next step, we have a piece of basic white that we need to use for our stamping. So I've got one piece for the inside of my card, and this is for my stamping. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit of fun thing. Now, ignore this side of the project because I accidentally smeared it. What I did here is I actually used my Wink of Stella and my ink to make my paint. So we're going to do the same thing. So on here, I already have my hat done. And you can see, like I said, I wasn't patient enough when I started touching this to let it dry sufficiently. So this is something that you'll want to do and put it aside to dry. You can hit it with your heat tool to help it speed along. All right, but it'll be damp and you'll get it on your fingers if you don't let it dry long enough, and then it'll smear. So I've got this one done. All right. So I'm kind of thinking doing this one kind of on the fly here. 'Tis the season. I kind of think I'd like my little hat below. All right. Again, this is her original card. All right. Now we're going to stamp our sweater here. So I need my Versamark ink because I do want to show you how I colored this in. And that's the same way I did the hat. Let's see. Where did my Versamark ink go? Here it is. I will need that. So let's get this inked up. And before I actually stamp on my paper, I do want to take my embossing buddy and just, you know, I kind of pounced it a little bit to get some of that powder out. I'm just rubbing the front of my cardstock so that it takes away that static. All right, so we're just going to stamp that right on there. Give it a moment to set on my paper. I'm going to pull in, this is the tray that I've been talking about. That's the accessories pack. All right, so I lift that up. I'm taking black embossing powder this time. Sherry used Memento Black because she was using her blends. So I thought, oh, let's just keep with the black. All right. All right. Just tap off the excess. I don't really care if there's excess on that side because we're going to be trimming that out anyways. There was like a little hair there. Okay. And all right. Now, before I do anything else, I do want to put this away. So I'm going to take my little instruction sheet here and use this kind of as my table. One of the things, I mean, I love using embossing powder, but one of the things that drives me crazy is if I get some of this powder on my table, my desktop, and it feels gritty. It just bothers me. All right. So I'm going to close that. I'm going to close this up. Back. Shake that off because we'll vacuum that later. All right. Let's pull in our heat tool here. Now, I'm about to show you next is something that Celine Kempton has shared with me. And I see her do it a lot on her cards. And I'm like, oh, that's so fun. I always forget to do this. So I'm going to show you something really fun. And hopefully you'll have a chance to try it out on some of your projects. Now, if you don't have the supplies that I'm using, go ahead and just keep working through using your tutorial and assembling your card. And this is just a little bit extra fun for you. So I'm just going ahead and heating that off so that that black is melted. I don't want any of the little grainy pieces of that embossing powder. I want to make sure it's all heated well. You just gotta be careful that you don't overheat. All right, so I'm gonna leave that out because I'm gonna use it again. All right, so here is where the magic happens. I'm gonna get this cleaned off and put back in its little home because I'm gonna use this block. So let's get this. Where's my sentiment set? It must be over here. Oh, here it is. Underneath my embossing tray. So let's just put this away. I love the sentiment she chose with this card. 'Tis the season to go with the little sweater. It's so cute. All right, let's see. We're going to use our real red. And I'm just going to take my block to my stamp pad and just get a little bit of ink on there. Just like that. Does not have to be perfect. All right. Now I'm going to grab my Wink of Stella. So it's my little glitter pen. I'm going to shake it up a little bit. And I'm going to just simply squeeze a drop. You'll see it kind of bubble out there. Just squeeze a drop right onto the ink. And then we're going to take our pen and mix the Wink of Stella and that real red together. Okay. And I'm going to start painting my sweater. So I'm just going to do a little bit of the area right here. I'll just do a couple areas just so we're not here all night. And then I'll hit it with my heat gun and we'll get it onto our card. Now I already did the hat in this same way. So now you can see it's getting a little bit lighter. Just go ahead and dab it back in there and get a little bit more red. All right, let's pull a little bit more in. I'm pulling more of the red into my Wink of Stella. All right, and I'm going to do my little bands right here. All right. And let's see. I want to have just a little bit, maybe we need a little bit of green on there. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. I'm just going to take a tissue. I'm going to kind of dry that off a little bit. I'm going to squeeze my pen through again and have some of that Wink of Stella come through. And then I can get that red off of there. All right. Then we'll go ahead and wipe this off. I'll clean my block after I'm done. So I do clean these after I'm done with a technique like this. And we're going to grab our shaded spruce. And I'll put that on the other end. I'll close that up. And again, we're going to drop a Wink of Stella in there. Maybe a couple. And mix that up really good. Now you could use a little, like a lid from something and put a re-inker in there, just a drop of re-inker with your Wink of Stella. But I'm going to use it this way. It gives me a little bit of palette. All right, and I'm just going to do my sleeves down here. So I'm just going in those lines. Hopefully I didn't get out of picture when, or out of frame when I went to do that. So it has a little bit of green, it has a little bit of gold, depending on how much, you know, ink you put on your block and how much you squeezed your Wink of Stella will really determine how green or gold that is. All right. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go right in here. Okay. All right. Now again, I'm going to grab my handy dandy Kleenex. If you have a little towel, use your towel. Just, you know, wipe it back and forth. Squeeze a little bit out. And if you have a Wink of Stella that's almost out, go ahead and put a little bit of rubbing alcohol in there, and then you can use that again. All right. I would use like 90 proof. It helps it dry faster too. All right. So we've got that. I need to put my lid on here. We'll be done with that one. I'm going to bring in my heat tool, and I'm just going to heat it up just a little bit so that Wink of Stella dries. I'm doing it from the bottom. I don't want to do it from the top because I don't want all that liquid to go flying around. So do it from the bottom. And it'll dry pretty quickly. So I'm just drying that. I might even just take my paper towel there and just lightly press it. Let's see. Okay, turn this off for a second. Right. So I'm just gently dabbing. See, I got a little bit right there. So just need to kind of go in and see if I can get that cleaned up. All right. I'm rushing it just because I want to get this project done for you. But again, I would leave this sit and dry. So like I do all my project, I do this first, leave it sit and dry, and then I come back to it. So we're going to let this dry a little longer. The next we're going to do is make our little tassel. So take your thread here and leave a little tail. Now, I'm going to just loosely wrap this around my finger. So it's so funny. In the directions, how did Sherry word it? It was really funny. I cracked up when I read it. So she put in there, so if you all have your tutorial, wrap real red and white baker's twine around finger loosely so as not to cut off your circulation. You need all your fingers for crafting. That just cracked me up. All right, so here we go. And we're just going to trim that down. All right, now the next thing we have to do is we have to take our one loop and go through one side. Then we take our other loop and go through the other direction. All right, hopefully I got that right. Okay, and now we want to tie a bow. Okay, so I'm going to try to tie it here. I'll tie a little knot. This to me was very challenging. Just, I don't know. It just is me, not anything about it. I think it's really cute. And again, it's user issue here. All right. I'm just trying to tie this because it wouldn't slide back on this finger very well. Oh, maybe it will. Okay. So I'm going to tie this in a knot. Get my, oh, okay. So we're just going to get this knotted. All right. I'm going to tie one more knot for good measure here. Just I feel like it's loose. All right. So now we've got our little loopy loops. Oh, it didn't work. Hold on. Let's try that again. Told you it didn't work the first time I did it either. Okay, now I got a bunch of fringe there. Let's trim this off. All right. So when you slide this through, you have a front and a back. Okay. So this one needs to go through this side. And this one that's in front needs to go through this side. Now, while it's like that, I have found if you go right through here, you just really want to get a knot in there is what you're doing. Okay. So I got my little knot. All right, this is where you do need it on your finger again. So now you need to come through and tie it one more time to finish off that knot. There we go. Okay, much better. So now we have our little loopies there. So we're just going to take our little scissors and just snip it all at one time. We're going to take those excess tails. I'm going to trim those down. Woohoo! Look, I made the tassel. All right. Now, I'm just going to pull some of my extra off. Let's see if this is... Okay, I think it might be dry enough to cut. Take this. I got something on my scissors. All right. Now you can color your sweater with markers. Just use your Stays On stamp pad. If you're going to use your blends, use your Memento Black. And embossing, use your Versamark. So Sherry stamped her card with the Real Red stamp. All right. Doot, doot. Okay. So I think we're going to tuck this right. I kind of like, I may have to turn it this way because I want my sentiment to show, but I still want it. Yeah. Okay. All right. My something was still wet because I have wet on my hand now. So I'm trying not to get my project wet or project smushed. Okay. All right. We'll just put this right on the end there. And then we're going to take our, let's go ahead and get everything in here. And then we'll add our little tassel. And then we'll add our traditional sequins. So on the back of this, and this is where I said sometimes it's helpful to have either a scrap or this is one of the empty dimensional backings. All right. And here I have my handy dandy strips of dimensionals. I don't want to go all the way to the bottom because I'm overlapping that sentiment. All right. So you can use every piece of dimensional that you have. Just saying, not, you don't have to just use the pieces that were cut. You can use every little piece. In fact, one of my friends who comes over to stamp, she likes to use all the little ends and stuff. She's like, you don't mind that I do this? I'm like, no. Have at it. Have fun with it. She's like, I just like to use those pieces. I'm like, okay. All right. I do like how that looks. So I'm going to go ahead and put some dimensionals over on this end here. And I am going to use these. And we'll space them far enough out. Because this is already overlapping something that has dimensionals, I don't have to worry about having dimensionals all the way across. Yep. All right. We'll just slide that all the way over. Kind of like it so it has that like that. Oh, how fun. All right. We're going to put our little hat right over here. So let's go ahead and we're going to take a couple dimensionals here. I think I'm going to take 3. I'm going to really give this hat support. All right, and we're going to put it right here, just like that. Let's put this onto our crumb cake card base. And because I have so many dimensionals on the front now, well, I suppose we can do one more layer. I suppose it won't hurt. All right. So when I do this extra layer of dimensionals, I try to get behind the areas that don't already have a dimensional. So I'll like put one right here. That way, when it goes in the envelope and goes to the mail, it'll kind of compress a little better, but it will still have that extra oomph that you're looking for. All right. All right. Now we're almost done. So we've got to do the inside of our card yet. And we got to add our little tassel. I'm going to use a glue dot. Because when it comes to ribbons and twine, I think, my opinion, is glue dots are the best. So I'm just going to fold that in half and put that right on there, lift it off. Ooh, I didn't grab the end. Okay. And we're just going to put that right on there. Kind of got the ugly sweater thing going on. Here was my original sweater, but I smeared it. Okay, let's add our pretty sequins here. And, you know, because we're using red and green, I really kind of felt that the blue and this green didn't go as well. So I'm just going to stick with, I think we're going to go with the gold. That kind of goes with the, what do you call it? Wingastella. And you add as many sequins as you would like, because it is your card, it's your creation. And you know what? We gave you a full package of embellishments. So you have lots to play with there. I have been using this for like 3 different classes. So I know there's a lot there. I haven't even run out yet. Okay. Oopsie. What did I just drop? Birthmark pad. Okay. Oh, and I hear my little old man trying to get up the stairs. All right. So that is our last card. Oh, we didn't do the inside. Ooh, Beth, do the inside. Don't forget that piece. Okay. So we're going to take this. And this time I am going to use my blends. So I'm going to pull in my shaded spruce. I can find the other shaded spruce, both the light and the dark. And we're going to add a little hat and middies. All right. So let's get our Memento black now. And let's get our little hat. Oop, that's the heart. I need my little hat. Where are you, little hat? Here it is. All right. So I'm going to add my little hat right over here. All right. And then I'm going to take my little middies and I am going to put them at a bit of an angle here. Just like this and this. All right. And I'm going to put them right underneath my hat. I didn't go up high enough with my hat. All right. We're going to change it around. Here, we're going to change it around. Okay. We're going to go in right here and here with our middies. Here and here with the, oh my goodness, I don't know if that's going to stamp that well. I kind of squished that on my stamp pad, so it filled in all those little gaps. All right. Gently, gently, tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Tap and twist just a little bit in case it's not getting fully inked. All right. And then I'm going to just put this overlapping my middies just a little bit. Here we go. And let's take our markers. And we're going to start with our shaded spruce here. And I'm just starting with my light. And I'm going up. Starting with my light. Going up. And going up. And then I'm going to come in with my dark. And I'm just going to add some dark right to the bottom here. All right. And now let's get our red. And this is my light. So I'm just going to color with that. Kind of coloring the same way I did on the front. All right. Again, I'm going to take my dark. I'm going to put it right at the bottom a little bit. Okay, just like that. And for my mittens, we're going to do a lot of it in red. So we're going to start with our light real red. So I'm doing the base of my mittens in real red. Again, this is the light. All right. Then we'll come back in with the dark. And we're just gonna kind of go around the outline a little bit right here. All right. Just like that. Now you don't want to have this inside your card base because look what happens. It kind of bleeds through, and that's normal. It's going to do that. It doesn't bleed through to your desktop or anything, but you don't want to have that on the back of your card. All right. So now I am going to bring back in Wink of Stella. I'm going to shake it ever so gently because I know what happens with this one. This one will come gooshing out. So I'm going to just give a little squeeze over here. Now that I said that, now nothing's going to come out. Come on. Okay, now I got a big chunk coming out. All right, so I'm going to do my hat. And I am just tapping because it's still coming out. So I'm really just tapping on there. All right, then I'll do my middies here. I know I should say mittens, but I keep saying middies. Again, here's where that extra dimensional sheet helps. You can use that kind of as your palette. You don't have to have anything special. There we go. And I'm going to add just some in the brim of the hat, just to kind of tie it together. All right. We'll give that a moment to dry. I'll pick these things up while it's drying, and then we'll put that on the inside of the card. And we are done with day 3. Can you believe we've had 6 projects already? We still have 6 more projects to go, and you'll have to pop in tomorrow to see what kind of festive gear I'll have for then. So, again, you can still get our October craft along for free when you purchase in our online store. And you can also purchase the Craft Along kit to be mailed to you. You'll get your designer series paper, all the stuff that you need to make your projects, your 24 sheets of cardstock, your embellishment, your ribbon, your red and white twine ribbon. And your 38-page tutorial will be emailed to you. All right, it's too big and heavy to put in the kit, and would cost us too much, and we don't want to charge you for that. So this will be emailed to you. So you'll have to print that out or just read it on your computer as you go. And for other information, go ahead and check out my website. Make sure you're on my email list because that way you get all the updates. I'm going to send out my free shipping email again tomorrow morning so that you know that if you purchase $50 my online store, you're getting 2 tutorials. And this only goes through, let's see, tomorrow's Thursday, the 24th. So the 22nd through the 24th. If you spend $75, you're going to get the 2 tutorials and free shipping from Stamping Up. If you spend $100, you get the 2 tutorials, the free shipping, and you get a choice of 10 handmade cards from me or 26 by 6 pieces of designer series cardstock or designer series paper, and I send that directly to you. Once I see your order go through, I just send everything directly to you. And if your order is going to be over $125, please reach out to me. I'd much rather you spend $35 and get $125 for just $35. And I can share what purchasing the starter kit means. There's no commitment to it. You use it however you want. If you want to run a business, if you want to make a little supplemental income, if you want to just do it as a hobby, or you want to just get it as a discount, it is by far right now in the next couple of days the best deal, because you're getting free shipping on that. And you can turn around, and as soon as they give you your ID, you can put another order in for free shipping. Just saying, double dip. It is very few times in the year that you get to double dip on things. So enjoy it while you can. All right. Thank you, and appreciate you so much for joining. Have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. And okay.